There for a while, I would watch my videos after I uploaded them. I watch them. I learned from my mistakes. I learned from what I do right. And hopefully they're better and better each time, although they, I think, will always be thoroughly amateur. But I was watching various videos and I was thinking, the title cards are not showing up too well, and I tried moving them and doing this and that, and then I watched an older video because I don't necessarily upload in the same order I record. I record them and then I randomize them and upload whichever comes up first in the randomizer. And an old one came up and I saw I was holding the title cards close to the phone and they showed up fine. So I'm back to doing that. There are some videos I'll upload at some point where I'm experimenting in various ways and not doing well. Well, I'm Robert McKay. Welcome to my channel. Enter freely and of your own will. If you've ever seen the 1931 Dracula that Todd Browning made with Bela Lugosi in the title role, you will recognize that as my poor imitation of Mr. Lugosi's Hungarian accent. Now, Vlad Tepes, probably mispronounced it, who inspired the vampire stories about Dracula. And in Romania, by the way, they don't think Vlad was a vampire. Vampires and Vlad are separate. It took Bram Stoker to meld the two. But Vlad Tepes was Romanian, well, Wallachian, or however you pronounce it. Vlach. I speak none of those languages. There wasn't any such country as Romania at the time. They all spoke the Romanian language in Wallachia. I've forgotten the other two principalities. Shoot. But there were three principalities that eventually merged to form Romania. Vlad was Romanian, as we would call it. Bela Lugosi was Hungarian, because today Hungary and Romania share Transylvania. And Bela was from Transylvania, just the Hungarian side, so his accent was Hungarian. And you care about this probably about as much as I care about the composition of a flying fickle finger of fate. And if you've never heard of that, you need to watch Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, which you can find on YouTube and who knows, maybe somewhere else. Tonight, by the way, I'm drinking Smoke Wagon Desert Colt. Was it yesterday? Not yesterday. Saturday. I was in Q Package Liquors looking for Balcones Pot Still, Texas Pot Still Bourbon, which was not there anymore. I guess I have no chance at all to get it unless I go to the west side, which I'm not. They discontinued making it, and I guess it's all gone. But I saw a bottle of Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered, and I thought about getting it. But I thought, I still have this, and this is Uncut Unfiltered. They're just calling it Desert Colt, and it comes at a cheaper price. This is $42.99, got it at Kelly Liquors. And talking about price, that smells good. Brings me to what I want to talk about. This is a sipping and talking video. As you can tell, I don't have scripted introductions. I just kind of fall into what I'm doing. I have no script whatsoever. I'm thoroughly amateur. But what I want to talk about is I sip and talk. Let me sip. Very good. If the Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered is at least as good as this, it's good. I think this is the third time I'm going to say what I want to talk about is what everybody calls budget bangers. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that I take umbrage at everybody's parroting the same old cliches. And I have my differences with some terminology that people who make whiskey and people who drink whiskey use. I don't like that phrase, budget banger, if only because everybody repeats it without even trying to say nothing in their own words. Folks, talk in your own words. You know, these people stumbling and stuttering around looking for some pompous, portentous, self-important way to say something, trying to hunt up the fashionable cliche, and every other word out of their mouth is you know. Well, no, I don't know, because you ain't told me. You've been saying you know for 5 minutes. Just shut that up and talk your own way. Of course, on the other hand, a lot of Americans can't talk English. You think I sound bad? Listen to some of the banal conversations you hear. And I've looked that word up. Everybody calls it banal. The first definition in the dictionary is banal. The way it looks. Sound it out, right? Banal is a correct pronunciation. Y'all can call it banal if you want. Anyway, budget bangers. I don't like that term. Well, what do I call them? Well, I call them different things. But the idea is a whiskey that is worth more than it costs. Now, I don't have but 2 bottles that I'm going to show you, because I don't have but 2 bottles on hand that count. And I need to qualify my definition. You know, I've had some whiskey that at $30 was overpriced. I've had some whiskey that at $70 was at least worth what you paid, might have been worth more than what you paid. So let me refine my definition. It's something that doesn't cost much, say $30 and under, but is worth more than you pay for it. Balcones, Texas pot still bourbon, which I've mentioned, when I first started drinking it was $30 a bottle. Last couple of bottles I got were down to 28. That stuff, in my opinion, is worth 60 at least. But let me bring forth the 2 bottles I have here. This is Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Now, the first Evan Williams I had was their ordinary black label with the one with the big white 1 on the front. And I didn't care for it. It was better than Jack Black, but not a ton better. And it took me a while, but I came across a number of reviews praising this one. And this is good. This is a nice, dark, solid, robust bourbon. It's not the greatest thing on earth, I grant, but it's very good bourbon. It's bottled in bond, so you know that it's 4 years old. You know that it has no artificial colors or flavors. And that also comes through because it's straight bourbon whiskey. All bottled in bond is straight, even if they decide not to put that on the label. You know that it's 100 proof because it's bottled in bond. It had to age in a bonded government warehouse, and only those with specific government authorization can go in there. Now this bottle cost me, I don't know if you'll be able to read it, $19.99, 20 bucks, for bottled in bond whiskey. And this stuff is very good. It is worth at least 30 bucks. I would willingly pay $35 for this. And it's $20. So this is one of those whiskeys that doesn't cost much and is worth more than it costs. This other one is Old Forester 100. And we call it 100. It doesn't have that name on the label. It just says Old Forester, the first bottled bourbon, which, unlike a lot of stuff you find on labels, is the absolute truth. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. But we call it Old Forester 100 because it is 100 proof. It is not a bottled in bond. Old Forester's bottled in bond is the 1897, which I've not had. You get into their Whiskey Row series and it begins to cost a little bit. But this is 100 proof whiskey. It's another dark, solid, robust bourbon. Again, not the best bourbon on earth. On the other hand, there's some stuff that'll cost you 40, 50, 60 or more dollars that is not the best bourbon on earth. This one cost me, again, I don't know if you can read it, $22.99. This is 23 bucks, $3 more than that. And they are both good. This I would not mind paying $35 for, just like the Evan Williams. And I could name others. Wild Turkey 101. I don't have a bottle of that on hand, but it is about $25 as I recall. And it's worth more than you pay for it. For that matter, this is, but this one, what did I say it was? 43 bucks. So that's above the price that I put into the definition, 40 and under. I think I actually said 30 and under. What else is there? Bullet bourbon. Now, it's not as good as those two that I mentioned. It's not as good as the Wild Turkey that I mentioned. But Bullet is a good bourbon. It's like a $25, $30 bottle and worth at least that much. Now, it's a high rye bourbon, so if you're not a fan of rye, you probably won't like the Bullet. It has a brighter profile to it than any of the three bottles that I've talked to you about so far, or that you've seen. The Wild Turkey used to go with the Evan and the Forester in the dark whiskey, as I call it, dark whiskey category. But in the last part of 2024, they had what I've termed a bobble. The quality went down. It just didn't taste right. And when it come back, the bottle that I got a few months later had a brighter profile than it did before. And I need to get me another one, but I have limited space to store whiskey, so if I buy this bottle, I can't buy that bottle. If I buy those two bottles, I can't buy these two. It's an interesting situation, but then whiskey is a luxury. Most of our money goes to necessities like food, rent, bills. Hey, if you want to sue me for everything you got, please do. I have a ton of bills I want to give to you. Let you pay them for a while. Whiskey is a luxury, and if buying whiskey ever conflicts with paying for necessities, I will not buy whiskey. But it hasn't come to that. Our financial situation has improved these past 4 years, and I'm able to buy higher priced bottles than I could then. But expanding the storage space would cost more than it's worth. We'd have to move into a different apartment, get a 2-bedroom apartment, and we have no need for that, except to store whiskey in. Well, that ain't a necessity. What else can I tell you about? Old Granddad 114. Now that's a little more expensive than the Evan or the Forester or the Turkey. The last bottle, in fact I have a bottle now and I didn't grab it, so I had more than I thought I did. It's almost empty though, so it's slipping out of my mind. I think it cost me $32, and it's worth that much, and I'd pay $35 for it. The gap between the actual price and what I'd pay is smaller on the 114 than it is on the Evan or the Forester, simply because they cost less than the Granddad does. For that matter, Old Granddad bonded, and I can't remember what that costs. It's a 100 proof whiskey. It's bottled in bond. Bonded and bottled in bond mean the same thing. It doesn't have the authority, it doesn't have the richness of flavor that the 114 does, but it does cost less. And it's worth at least what you pay for it. This stuff's good. This is another dark and robust whiskey. MGP in Lawrenceburg, Indiana distills it, but they age it in Las Vegas, Nevada, and with that climate, it's going in and out of the wood a lot. That's desert. And of course, actually in town, the humidity's way up because they're water and everything, and got fountains hither and yon. But a desert climate is hot in the daytime and cold in the night, and so that whiskey's going into the wood and out of the wood and into the wood and out of the wood with more vigor than you would get if you aged it in Indiana or Kentucky or wherever. And this is right good whiskey. Now, as I said, it's above the level I set for this video, but it's still good, worth at least what you pay for it. I'd pay probably $50 for this without a quiver. But my purpose here is not necessarily to give you a list. Everybody makes list videos. I have a couple. But that's not really why I'm here. I'm here to give information to people who are new to whiskey, who haven't yet built up experience. And so I wanted to tell you a few of these budget bangers and give you an idea of what they are. Now, just because a whiskey has a low price doesn't mean it's good. I would say, as a general rule, don't buy under $25. There are exceptions. That Evan Williams is one of them. As a general rule, don't buy under $25. Because you get down on the bottom shelf and a lot of it is just bourbon. That's all. And some of it is not even worth drinking. Now, as you gain experience, if you want to try some of that $15 whiskey, you can. But I would highly recommend you wait till you know what you like, what you don't like, where your palate falls, and then if you want to try them, yeah, go for it. In the meantime, I hope I have been helpful to you. I hope I have been sort of nearly almost in the neighborhood of being kind of entertaining. Because if I'm boring or offensive, y'all ain't going to watch this video, nor any of my others. And on that note, I've just over 20 minutes. I'm a little more than I intended to be, but I'm doing better than I thought I might. Here's how.